Hello friends, my name is Kishan and welcome you in this video tutorial. In past video we have learned how to perform CRUD operation using Hibernate 5. So here you can see we had created this project and we have a Hibernate configuration file which contains all the database information. We have a utility class Hibernate util which is responsible to basically create a session factory. We had created entity class which is binded with the table employee underscore table, and finally we had created a client program, and there I have shown you how to perform the CRUD operation, right? So here I am going to refactor this code. So in this video nothing we are going to learn related to Hibernate, but we'll follow some design pattern. So we'll have some kind of service class, and service class will make call to the DAO layer. So we are going to create some layered application, a service layer as well as DAO layer. So here I am going to create so first of all I'll create a service layer interface. So here com.infotech. I would say service, and I would say employee service. So let's create, actually I have created as a class, but I was supposed to create interface. So let's make it interface, right? Interface, and here I'm going to declare all CRUD related method like public, abstract. So when you create an interface and you declare some method, then public, abstract is implicitly there, so you don't need to declare this. Still I am going to declare, just I want to follow some naming convention and all, right? So here first of all I'm going to declare a method is called create employee, and basically this will take employee as an argument, right? So let's say employee as an argument. Okay, so import this guy. So this is our create method. Now similarly we are going to add all four methods. So now next method we have something is called get employee by ID, right? So let's declare this method as well, and this guy is gonna return employee instance, right? Employee, I would say get employee by ID, and here int employee ID you are gonna pass it over here. Here you can take int or integer, both will work. Now next method we are going to create update employee information, right? So we can, let's say update, and return type, that up to you what return type you want to specify. And here basically update employee, what I would say update employee by ID, and here let's say I'm passing the employee ID first argument, and next just we want to update his salary, and that is type of double, so I say new salary, right? So this is for update, new salary is a variable itself, right? And finally we'll have a delete employee by ID, right? So this will take integer as an argument. So last method I'm going to write delete employee by ID, and of course you need to pass employee ID, right? So this is our interface. Now we are going to create its implementation class, right? So right click on this package, and give the package name as IMPL, and class name is IMPL, which is gonna IMPL, and this is gonna implement interface is called employee service, right? And click on finish. So this will create the class. So implementation of this method we have to provide, right? Now we are going to create a DAO interface, right? So in DAO interface we'll have a method very similar to this. So let's create a DAO layer. Why we require a DAO layer? Because all the service, all the business logic will have to write in the service layer, and DAO will be responsible to interact with the database. So DAO, and I would say employee DAO. This would be our interface, DAO interface, and here we are gonna paste this method, almost similar method. I would say it's like add employee, say fetch employee information, and rest of the methods we can keep as it is. So this would be the interface, not a class. Okay, now we are going to create implementation of this interface, right? So go to this package, class, give the package name as impl, class name employee.impl, and this is gonna implement our interface is called employee DAO, right? I don't know why this is not coming. Add interface employee DAO, select, okay, finish. So here we'll have to write all here we'll have to write the code which will interact with the database using Hibernate, right? So this is basically our layered architecture. Now now here we are going to call our DAO layer method, right, from here. So new, I would say employee new DAO, and here we'll have to call a method is called add employee, and employee object you are passing over here. Similarly you can pass it new employee, I would say fetch, right? Fetch employee ID, you need to pass employee ID. So you will have to, and here if you have some kind of business logic, those business logic you can write in the service layer, right? So now similarly we have a update employee ID, so we can pass new salary, and now let's call to the delete employee ID, right? Now go to your DAO layer, and here we are going to write our source code with try catch. Some of the code snippet we can copy from here itself, right? So here what we can do, this layout we can copy over here, right? And here we got the session, and we are using try with resources, so you don't need to close session in your finally block, right? So that's the advantage of try with resources. Now here you can begin the transaction, right? Now you can get transaction, existing transaction you can get, and commit, right? And between this you can session dot save, and you can save this object, right? And this is going to return you. So some code snippet we can copy from here, which we had already seen in the previous video tutorial, right? So here this code snippet I'm going to copy, and finally from main method we'll delete this code, right? Now employee will have to save it, so pass it over here, and just we are printing employee is created with a specific ID, right? So this create is completed. Now similarly get employee ID we have now again what we can do, we can copy this code snippet and we'll have a little change. Now this code already we have written in previous video tutorial, get employee ID. So just I'm going to copy from here get employee ID, and simply I would paste it over here. Sorry, not add but create employee. When you read data from the database you don't require a transaction, right? So let's say suppose ID we are getting from the client, so we'll have to pass it over here, same ID, and this will print the data if record exists with a specific ID. Now similarly update record, right? So update you require again transaction, right? So for update we have written here code as well. So if you go here, then yes, this is the code for update we have written. So let's go and here in update section, sorry guys, let's first complete this one, and code for update I'm going to copy from here, and here in update section go and paste it, right? So first you'll try to fetch the employee from the database. Now if you find this is not null, then you update with the new salary, you begin the transaction, you update the employee, and finally you are completing the results, right? Completing the transaction. Now finally we have delete employee, right? So for delete employee, again code would be very much similar to the update itself. So I'm going to copy this code snippet, I'll paste it over here, and of course we can copy available code from here itself, which we had learned in previous video tutorial. So delete, so I'm going to copy these things and go to delete section, and here you can paste it out. So almost we have done, right? So this employee ID will have to pass it, which is coming from the client. If employee exists, go and delete and commit the transaction, right? So this way we have completed DAO as well as service layer. Now our client program only we have to make call to these methods. So here we don't need to, here we are going to call these methods. So let me delete these things, and here let's call this method. You don't need to pass. Now session is already getting created, so here you don't require a session, right? So here what you can do, you can create an instance of what employee service equal to new employee service IMPL, this object, and every method has to take this reference, right? Now you go and pass this reference to create employee, sorry, and here what you can do, you can call create employee by passing this employee, right? So this one is completed. Okay. So if I run this application, so one method we can test at least. So you can see table is created, unique constant is applied to the email, and finally one insert is so in test schema you can see one table is created and one record has been inserted. So create employee we have tested, right? Now similarly we have to test other API as well. So create, I'm gonna copy. Now get employee by ID, you can go, and here what you can do, here also we'll have to pass this reference, right? And here you can call get employee by ID. I'm going to pass 1, and this is going to return us employee information, right? Employee, and we have already overridden toString method, so directly you can print employee information, right? So that I'm going to call, and if I run this program, then this should return us employee information whose ID is 1, and that we are getting over here. This null is getting printed somewhere. Let's see where this null is coming. So if you go and here, then somewhere this is printing null, I don't know where. So here we'll have to pass, you will have to return this one, this guy, right? So here we'll have to declare this guy outside the try block, right? And after fixing this issue, if you run this program, then you'll get a complete file, right guys? So I am running out of time. Rest of the two methods I am going to complete in the next video tutorial. Thanks for watching.